Okay, is it fine? Hope you are able to see whiteboard now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So let me start with the Hilbert transform. Okay. Hilbert transform. In short, we write HT and write that also Hilbert transform. So visible, na? Yes, is it visible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as I already said, Hilbert transform uh, separates the signal based on the phase selectivity. Means it provides a phase shift, okay, between the signals of around plus or minus 90 degree. Okay, so to understand how does it provides and all, let us begin with the understanding with the system with mathematical equations. So let me say the signal, okay, say g of t. You can take anything, okay, g of t or x of t. I take g of t is my input signal, okay. Then I pass this signal g of t through, I take this Hilbert transform as an LTI system, okay. Hilbert transform as an LTI signal. Then output of this Hilbert transform is denoted as G at of t. Okay, I denote the Hilbert transform of a signal G of t by what, G cap of t. So this is the notation which we use to represent the Hilbert transform of a signal. G of t will be G cap of t. Right? As I said, this system I will be considering as what, LTI system, that is linear time invariant system, LTI system. Okay, and I can represent the impulse response. Okay, impulse response of the Hilbert transform. So which I denote it as H capital HT of t. Okay, usually we denote the impulse response by H of t, right? So suffix HT indicates the Hilbert transform, right? So impulse response of the Hilbert transform. So let me write this as what, impulse response of Hilbert transform. Just I write in short as HT. Okay, so this is in time domain, right? I can write in frequency domain as what? Usually I denote by capital H, right? Capital H, HT of F. I can either use small f or capital F. This will be what? Fourier transform of Fourier transform of what? Impulse response of the Hilbert transform. Yes or no? So this is the notation which I am using it here. So we all know this is my input signal, right? This is g of t is my input signal, right? And if I pass that signal through a linear time invariant system, I said the Hilbert transform of the signal g of t will be represented as g cap of t, right? So usually, how do I express this? If it is an LTI system and the Hilbert, that is the impulse response of this Hilbert transform is as I said HST of t. So what can I write here? G cap of t is equal to. Yes, anyone can say what I can write? It will be what? The convolution of the input signal and the impulse response of the system, right? So I will be able to write G of t, right? G of t convolved with what? Convolved with the impulse response of the Hilbert transform. Hope you are understanding now. So G cap of t is equal to G of t convolved with the impulse response of the Hilbert transform. So which I consider as a linear time invariant system. Okay. Yes, is this fine? What I wrote? Yes, I am asking you people only. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is a basic thing you all know, right? Any input signal passed through an LTI system, the output of the LTI system can be written as what? Input signal convolved with the impulse response of that system, right? Yeah. So now the question is, what is the impulse response of this Hilbert transform, right? What is the impulse response of the Hilbert transform, right? So let me consider the impulse response of this Hilbert transform as, hope noted now. If I move up, it is not a problem. Yes, shall I go up?
No, sir.
I will be moving.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Hope you have noted this point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me consider the spectrum of this Hilbert transform, that is HST of f. Okay, let me define HST of f, that is Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform as minus j sin m of f, minus j sin m of f. Okay, I am defining the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform as what? The complex quantity, which is nothing but what? Minus j sin m of f. I hope you all know how do we define the sin m function. Are you aware? So this is a sin m function, right? How do you define the sin m function? Yes, anyone has idea? How do you define the sin m function? Have you come across anywhere?
No, sir.
Yes, people should respond. You know how do we define the sin m function? Yes?
No, sir.
No idea.
No, sir.
Okay, let me define the sin m function is defined as sin m of f. Okay, sin m of f is equal to, okay, which is equal to what we say 1, okay, for f greater than 0. For f greater than 0. And it will be 0 at f equal to 0. At f equal to 0. And it will be minus 1 for f less than 0. for f less than 0. So this is the definition of the Sinum function. So how do I so this is a mathematical representation, right? So how do I represent this graphically? Yes. How do I represent this graphically? Graphically means what? So this will be my frequency axis, okay? X-axis will be frequency axis. Let me consider, okay? This will be y-axis, right? So I can say this is 0, and let me say this is my Sinum function, Sinum of f. Yeah. How do I represent this? See, for f greater than 0, let me take this as 1, right? This as 1, and this as -1. -1. So for f greater than 0, its value will be what? 1. Isn't it? And for f less than 0, its value is -1. Okay? And at f equal to 0, it is 0. This is how we represent graphically. Okay, and this is the definition of Sinum function. Yes, is this thing is clear? I said the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform will be defined as what? Minus j Sinum of f. Minus j into Sinum of f. I defined what is Sinum function. So Sinum of f is equal to, will be 1 for f greater than 0, and it will be 0 at f equal to 0, and it will be -1 at f less than 0. Okay? Yes, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So is it noted? Shall I go to the next one? Yes, is it noted? Shall I move up?
Yes, sir.
Now let me define. uh, So I define what is Sinum of f now. Now I can say now what is HST of f, which is multiplied by minus j. That is Sinum function is multiplied by minus j. Right? With respect to that, how do I define that HST of f? That is Fourier transform of the Hilbert transform function. See, HST of f HST of f will be equal to what? Minus j into Sinum of f. Now Sinum of f I know it is 1 for f greater than 0, right? Now which is multiplied by minus j, right? So shall I say it is minus j? It is minus j, right? For what value? For f greater than 0, right? And it will be 0 at f equal to 0, and it will be what? Minus j into -1. So minus into minus plus, it will be what? Plus j, right? That is for f less than 0. Okay? So this is the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform. So how do I represent this graphically? Similar to the top one, how I represented the Sinum function. The same way I can represent here. Right? If I take this as frequency axis, right? And then this will be my y-axis, and this is what? This is my Fourier transform of the Hilbert transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform. So which is nothing but what? Minus j Sinum of f. So what is value? Can say. So three values, right? Minus j, 0, and f. So this will be what? Minus j and this will be j. So for f greater than 0, for f greater than 0 means this, right? It will be minus j, isn't it? For f greater than 0, it is minus j. Then for f less than 0, it will be j, right? Yes or no? Yes, for f less than 0, it will be j. So I can write this. Yes, is this clear, this point? And at f equal to 0, it is 0. Okay? Right? So what I can say, this minus j sin m of f is a complex quantity because it is multiplied by minus j. Right? It is a complex quantity. It is a complex quantity. So for complex quantity only, we will be writing the magnitude and phase response. So is it possible to say what will be the magnitude response and what will be the phase response for this function HT of f? Yes, is this thing is clear? Shall I move up? I have noted this point.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going up, okay? So now let me find the magnitude response and the phase response of this HST of f. So only for complex things only we are finding the magnitude and phase response, right? So let me say what is the magnitude response of this. Magnitude response. So how do you find the magnitude response? Magnitude response. How do I represent that? HST of f, right? HST of f. So magnitude means we put two columns, right? Two lines here, right? So which is equal to what I can write? Minus j, right? Sin m of f. Minus j sin m of f, right? So which is equal to what I can write? First component, that is minus j, right? And next you can segregate, that is sin m of f, right? So what is the value of minus j? Its magnitude. Yes? Yes, what is the magnitude of minus j? These are all very basic things, right? You should be able to say.
Minus 1.
Minus 1. See, why do we take magnitude?
Plus 1, sir.
Plus 1. Right? So its magnitude will be what? 1. Right? Yes or no? So with respect to this, what I can say is the magnitude response. The magnitude response of this HT, right? HT of f will be equal to, okay, 1 for all f, okay, for all f, and 1 for all f. So how do I represent this graphically? The magnitude response. Because if I take this as my frequency axis, right? Okay. So shall I write like this? It is 1 for all f. Is it fine? If I represent like this, is it fine? I am asking. This is the magnitude response, HT of f. Yes, is it fine? I am asking. Can I write like this? So no response. Are you not happy with this? I said, see, its magnitude response will be 1 no, for all frequencies. I am representing that graphically like this. So its value is 1 for all f.
So it should
Okay.
be J, right?
How, man? See, minus j, its magnitude will be what? 1, na?
No, magnitude of minus J will be just J.
No, no, no. It will be 1, man.
So how can you say J is 1, sir?
See, what is j square? J square is equal to what? Minus 1, na?
Yes, sir.
Here, see, this can be written as minus 1 into j, na? See, minus j is nothing but what, man? Minus 1 into j, right?
Yeah.
Then,
Then if you remove the minus 1 outside, you only get J, right? So the value will be J.
no, this is, see, it is nothing but absolute value, right? See, magnitude is nothing but absolute value, no, man.
Yes, sir.
Means absolute value is what? See, man, see, what is magnitude if I have like a plus ib, right? Say if I write x is equal to a plus jb, right? What will be its magnitude, man? Square root of a square plus b square, na?
Yes, sir. Now that one.
So with respect to that, you just think, man. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
What is here b with respect to this, man?
Minus 1.
Then, hope I have cleared it out.
Yeah.
Hope it is clear or not?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
So magnitude will be what? Square root of a square plus b square. So I thought we will be able to understand. Fine, it is good. At least we're asking now. We're not keeping quiet. Okay. Fine. So this is a magnitude response. In the same way, we can find out what is the phase response. Okay. Means what I wanted to say here is, see, when I pass the signal through an Hilbert transform, right? Here I found out mathematically and graphically I represented it is 1 only. Means its magnitude is not affected. Okay, the magnitude of the signal is not affected when I transmit the signal through a Hilbert transformer. That is what you need to understand. Means it is constant. Hope it is clear. Hope you understood, na? I said when a signal is passed through a Hilbert transform, its magnitude is not affected. Okay, it is constant. Okay, similarly, let us try to find out what is the phase response. How do you find the phase response? Phase response. Yeah, phase response is angle theta, no? So theta will, with respect to the previous example, how do you find tan inverse of? That is B by A, right? Yes or no? So I will write here directly with respect to angle, there is phase response. I denote HT of F. Okay, HT of F. I will be denoting that angle as what? I will use a different color. So this is my angle, right? I will be representing like this. So which is equal to what? The angle of minus J sin m of F. Minus J sin m of F. Okay. So which is equal to, yes, anyone can guess what can I write? Yes, you people should respond. See, I wrote here x is equal to a plus jb. Right? I said magnitude is square root of a square plus b square. The angle theta will be equal to what? Tan inverse of b by a. Isn't it? So with respect to that, here what is b and what is a? If that is tan inverse of 0 by c, real part is 0, right here. It is only imaginary part is there. So something by 0, it is infinite. Tan inverse of infinity will be what?
Pi by 2.
Yes.
90.
Yeah. So I can say it is minus pi by 2. Okay. For f greater than 0, and it will be 0 at f equal to 0. Okay. And it will be pi by 2 for f less than 0. For f less than 0. So this is what the phase response of the Fourier transform of the Hilbert transform, impulse response of the Hilbert transform. Okay, so how do I represent this graphically? I will just take it here. Yeah. Yeah, how do I represent this angle, phase response? Again, take this as your x-axis is your frequency. Okay. Then you can take, this is your y-axis, right? The phase angle, phase response, I say HHT of f. HHT of f. Yeah, how do I represent that? So two values, one is minus pi by 2, another one is pi by 2, then 0 value. So this is, I can say minus pi by 2, and this will be pi by 2, and this is 0. So for f greater than 0, for f greater than 0, yeah, for f greater than 0, what is the value? Yes, how do I represent? See, f greater than 0, it is minus pi by 2, right? So it is f greater than 0, I can say this is a phase shift, right? For f less than 0, it will be pi by 2. This is what? Okay. Means for positive frequencies, when I pass a signal through an Hilbert transform, it provides a phase shift of minus 90 degree, okay, for positive frequencies of the input signal, and it provides plus 90 degree phase shift for negative frequencies of the input signal. That is what the meaning of this, what we can conclude from this is. Okay, that is how we say this Hilbert transform provides plus or minus 90 degree phase shift, okay, for the input signal which is passed through an Hilbert transformer. Hope this point is clear. So all the frequency components which are means for positive frequencies, the Hilbert transform provides a minus 90 degree phase shift. Okay, for negative frequency, and here there is no concept of negative frequency actually. Okay, it does not exist in real, right? But if you take cos theta, right? What we write cos theta as in terms of exponential form, e power j theta plus e power minus j theta by 2, right? In that way, so this positive and negative, both the components are together. Okay, just for mathematical representation, we call that negative frequency. Okay, it does not exist practically. Only the positive frequency of a signal will exist practically. Okay. So this point is clear. What I said. So the Hilbert transform produces a phase shift of minus 90 degree, right, for all positive frequencies of the input signal, and plus 90 degree phase shift for all negative frequencies of the input signal. So this is what I can conclude from the phase response. From the magnitude response, what I said, the amplitude of all frequency components in the signal are unaffected by the transmission through the system, right? Okay, because its magnitude is 1 for all frequencies, either f greater than 0 or f less than 0, right? So hence, we call this Hilbert transformer is also known as phase shifter. Okay? So two things what I wanted to say here is, one is this Hilbert transform. Okay, Hilbert transform is also known as phase shifter because it provides phase shift. And another thing is, it is also known as quadrature filter. Quadrature filter. Why it is called quadrature filter? Anyone can guess? Yes, what do you mean by quadrature? Yes, my dear students, you should be able to guess why it is called quadrature. What is the amount of phase shift it can provide?
Provides 90-degree phase shift, sir.
Yeah, 90 degree, right? Plus or minus 90 degree phase shift it provides. No? So to emphasize that, it is known as quadrature filter. Okay, so these things are clear. It is also known as what? I said phase shifter because it provides phase shift of plus or minus 90 degree, and it is also known as quadrature filter. So basically the Hilbert transform is a filter. Okay, so it provides plus or minus 90 degree phase shift. So plus 90 degree for what frequency components of the input signal? For negative frequency components of the input signal, it provides plus 90 degree phase shift, and it provides minus 90 degree phase shift for the positive frequency components of the signal. Say for example, what I can say is it converts cosine into sines. Okay, so yes, is that clear? Cosine into sine, if I say. Yes, people are not responding. If I say it converts cosine signal, if I give cosine signal as an input signal to the Hilbert transform, the output of the Hilbert transform will be sinusoidal signal, sine 2 pi fct. Is that fine? Because cos of what? 2 pi fct plus theta minus 90 degree, which is equal to what I can write? So I say, we take some amplitude, any amplitude is not affected, okay? A into cos of, okay, 2 pi f naught t plus theta, right? Then minus 90 degree, right? Which is equal to what I can write? Can I write this as A is the amplitude, okay? Sine of 2 pi f naught t plus theta. Is this fine? Yes, can I write like this? Hello? Can I write like this? Say yes or no. Do you have your basics or not? Very fundamental, this one. Cosine of 2 pi f naught t plus theta minus 90 degree can be written as sine of something. Yes, I am not getting any response. Is this fine? So,
Yes, sir.
I can say this Hilbert transform converts cosine into sines. Okay, so just I took the spectrum of the Hilbert transform as minus a sin m of f, and I derived all these things, right? I found what is the magnitude response and what is the phase response. Based on that, I said what is the function of the Hilbert transform, right? I hope you are aware what is the means inverse Fourier transform of that means. Okay, I think. Say I took HST of f, right? That is the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform, right? I took this as what? Minus j sin m of f. So what will be the inverse Fourier transform of this? Means how do I write the inverse Fourier transform of this? It will be what? HT of t. Can I write like this? The inverse Fourier transform of HT of f, right? Which is equal to what? Okay, and you will not be able to say. You have to prove this. It will be 1 by pi t. Okay, so this is in frequency domain. Okay, the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform, and this is in time domain. So you need to use the formula of Fourier transform or IFT, and you should be able to get this equation as what 1 by pi t. Okay. So in a nutshell, what I can say is, see, G at of t is the what Hilbert transform of the signal G of t, so which is equal to, I said, G of t, that is input signal, convolved with what? Convolved with the impulse response of the Hilbert transform, right, which I denoted as HHT in time domain, HHT of t. Okay, so which is nothing but what I can write, G of t, right, convolved with 1 by phi t. So just to do the homework, how do I get, by taking inverse Fourier transform of this minus j sin m of f as 1 by pi t. Okay, so that is why you should have the basics, means what you said in lower semester. Now you take 5 minutes time and you will be able to prove this. How do I get this one, right? Okay, this is in time domain, right? So what I said, this is G at of t. So this G at of t is equal to, I said, G of t converted with 1 by pi t, right? So this is the time domain representation of what? Time domain representation of Hilbert transform, right? And we know what is this operation is called. So this is the convolution in time domain, right? This is the convolution operation in time domain. Okay, so you all know the convolution of two signals in time domain, okay, will be equal to what in frequency domain? I expect answer for this from your side.
Multiplication.
Pardon?
Multiplication.
Yeah, multiplication of their Fourier transform, right? So I can write G at of t, that is in time domain, right? To write in frequency domain, I can write always G cap of f, right? So G cap of f is equal to G of f into, right? I write into by this, then HHT of f I can write. Is this fine? So it will be multiplication of the Fourier transform in the frequency domain, right? So I can write it as what? G of f into, what is the value of HHT of f? It is minus j sin m of f. Minus j sin m of f. Okay. So I can rewrite this as minus j sin m of f into g of f. So this is in frequency domain. Okay. So I am not writing anything new. It is all I am writing with the basic understanding what you will have learned in the previous semesters. Hope I am clear. So this is the expression what I can say in frequency domain, what will be the Hilbert transform of the signal, right? So clear? So this is what? This is in frequency domain. Okay, this is the frequency domain. Frequency domain representation of Hilbert transform. frequency domain representation of Hilbert transform. Right? So here this operation is a what? Multiplication operation. You all know this is multiplication in frequency domain. Multiplication in frequency domain. Okay. So now we need to prove this, na? How I took this Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform as minus j sin m of f. Right, I need to prove that, right? So let us take up that. Let us see how do we prove that. That is the what Fourier transform of the Hilbert transform. So interested in knowing that? You want me to prove that, or is it fine? This much is enough. Yes, you people should respond. Then only I can go. Otherwise, it will be from my side only. If you all wanted to know how I get the Fourier transform of the impulse response of the Hilbert transform as minus j sin m of f, that is in frequency domain, or in time domain, it will be what? 1 by pi t. Right? If at all you want me to prove that, I can prove. If you are interested. Yes, I think you are not interested. Yes, what is your answer? Really, you want me to prove that, or you will do it?
Sir, you only prove, sir.
Huh? What Anand?
Sir, you only prove, sir.
I only do it. Okay, so now it is 12:40, 10 minutes. Let me see whether I will be able to prove that. I think, I guess I can. Okay, so before I begin with that, okay, I will just tell what I require to prove that. Okay, so I will be means to find the impulse response of the Hilbert transform. I will be using the derivative property of the Fourier transform. So, any one of you, is it possible to say what is the derivative property of the Fourier transform quickly? Yes? What is the derivative property means? I hope you understand. If x of t is a signal and its Fourier transform is x of f, right? We write capital X of f. So the derivative property means what? D by dt of x of t will be equal to what I can write? Derivative property. Yes, people should respond. Yes, what about Akshay? Rajwal? What is the derivative property, man? Rajwal? I said no, x of t is a signal, right? Its Fourier transform is capital X of f, I write. So the derivative property means what? D by dt of x of t will be equal to what I can write? Yes, you all should refresh the basics of this Fourier transform. Otherwise it becomes difficult. Yes, what about Karunya? Karunya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. May know what is the answer? Derivative property of the Fourier transform.
Sir, J into capital X of F.
Only J. Okay,
No,
so just you can have a note of, yeah. What's Skanda? Skanda Prithvi.
J omega into capital X of F.
Okay, J omega. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So J 2 pi f into x of f. That is the derivative property. Okay. So you just have a note of this line. Okay, to find impulse response of Hilbert transform. So we'll be using the derivative property of the Fourier transform. Okay. To find impulse response. To find impulse response of, so I write short term only Hilbert transform. Okay, to find impulse response of Hilbert transform, that is HHT of t. Okay, so let us use the derivative property of Fourier transform. Let us use the derivative property of Fourier transform. So I write Fourier transform for ft. Okay, so we all know if x of t is signal, its Fourier transform will be what? I can write it will be x of f, right? I write like this, x of f. Similarly, the derivative, okay, that is d by dt of x of t will be what? D by dt of x of t will be equal to j 2 pi f into x of f, I can write. Okay, so this is the derivative property. So now, what is my okay. Yeah, sin of function is my this one, no? Right? So how I wrote the sin of function? I wrote the sin of function as, so I write in time domain. Okay. So just okay. Okay, sorry, it should be vertical. Yeah. Yeah. If I take this as a sin of t, right, it will be 0. So for t greater than 0, okay, it has two values, right, plus or minus 1. So this will be plus 1 and this will be minus 1. So for t greater than 0, it will be 1, and for t less than 0, it will be minus 1. Okay, so this is my sin of t. So what is the derivative of this? Just quickly, anyone can say, means for t greater than 0, what is its derivative? See, d by dt, okay, d by dt of sin of t, okay, will be equal to what? Yes, what is the derivative of constant?
0.
0, no? At least people should tell with confidence, no? At least these are very basic things. See, for t greater than 0, it will be 0. Okay. Similarly, for this side also, for negative side, for d by dt, sin of t will be equal to, yes, for t less than 0. it will be 0, right? So at t equal to 0, what we are observing? So there is a step change in its magnitude, no? So which is equal to how much? At t equal to 0, it is changing from what? +1 to -1, or we can say -1 to +1, right? So what I can say is at t equal to 0, right? There is a step change of magnitude. There is a step change of magnitude. There is a step change. There is a step change of magnitude. Anyone can say how much it is changing? How much it will be? What is the change in magnitude at t equal to 0? That is from +1 to -1. No. How
Two
much we
units.
say it is? Huh?
2 units, sir.
2 units, right? It is 2. Right? So what I can say is the derivative. Okay, d by dt. Okay, d by dt of sin m of t. Okay, sin m of t will be equal to what I can write? 2 into the del of t. Right? 2 into del of t. Okay, this is at t equal to 0, I can say. At t equal to 0. Okay, I think with this, let me stop with this. Let me continue further in the next class. Okay, I hope you just have a recall of this. They are very basic things. I hope you all understand. If basic things are clear, then understanding and going further will be easy, right? So just have a refresh the basics of Fourier transform, because we are using those properties here directly, because I will not be able to again say every step at every stage what is the derivative, what is the duality property and all. Okay, so many things are required for this because it is a 6 semester subject, right? Yes or no? So you should have the basics. Okay, so let me stop with this, and you all can write your USN in the chat box, so that will be your attendance.